whenever you look for a new sedan or a new car at all, and you go on the internet and you ask for advice, it's either one of two companies. It's either a Honda or a Toyota. Honda, Toyota. Honda, Toyota. And in this particular case, looking for a midsize sedan in 2010, you'd be greeted with, oh yeah, 2010 Accord, or, oh yeah, 2010 Camry, right? Those are the golden standards, golden options. But today I'm going to reveal 3 secret, remember, almost no one remembers these. In fact, I've seen these before. Remember, I grew up in Oregon. A lot of off-roaders don't see a lot of sedans up there. If they are, they've been inherited or brought out of state, right? They don't usually sell a lot up there, just because the roads are so wavy, right? And I think I had seen all of these before, but I didn't really know what they were called, or I'd been really familiar with them. And over the past few months, I've been getting really familiar with them, seeing them a lot more, noticing them a lot more, and knowing them by name, right? And so today we're going to be looking at the underrated and forgotten SUVs from smaller Japanese brands. Now, Toyota and Honda are the example, right? They are the exception, kind of. A lot of people view Toyota and Honda as the rule. If you are a Japanese car company, you will be successful, right? But Toyota and Honda aren't the rule, they are the exception, right? They're the ones that are super popular, right? As soon as they came out, their work ethic, their quality, everything, what they had to build was their reputation. All of that came back, got them so many buyers, and now they're, top of the line. And now that's not really the rule, but the exception, because there are less successful, smaller Japanese car companies, and all of these brands are from what I would consider less successful car companies than either Toyota or Honda. So what are these mystical car companies? Mazda, again, a smaller car company. We've seen them, not saying that they don't make great cars, they're just obviously smaller than Toyota and Honda. Suzuki, a car company, a Japanese car company that sold so little cars that they had to exit the U.S. to avoid bankruptcy, and Mitsubishi, a car company that is still today, but on life support with Nissan and Honda at the helm, right? Yeah, smaller car companies. So exactly, I'm going to give you a singular minute to think about what car could be. Mazda, Suzuki, and Mitsubishi. Mazda, Suzuki, and Mitsubishi. What do you think they are? Maybe the Eclipse, right? The Eclipse is popular, right? Maybe the XX4, right? That's a sedan. And then for Mazda, the Mazda 3, of course. No. I think it'll reveal the titles, but I'm just going to show them to you really quickly. What were the names of those vehicles? What is the name of this vehicle? This is the 2011 Mitsubishi Gallant. What is the name of this vehicle? You really can't tell. What is it? The SX4? Doesn't look like an SX4, doesn't smell like an SX4, doesn't taste like an SX4. What is it? Kizashi and Mazda. It's a Mazda 6. I think we all know it's a Mazda 6. But still, you can tell this theme of them being less popular. When you think of a 2010s, Japanese derivative sedan, do you think of this, or do you think of, this? It's always this, right? These were just less popular. And also, a lot of times these were more reliable. The Gallant was one of the most reliable Mitsubishi models ever. The Suzuki, it was, 5th out of all Suzuki's lineup, even though they only had around 6 vehicles. Not because it wasn't reliable, but because all the other vehicles were very reliable, right? So the Suzuki's fine. And the Mazda 6 was extremely great, reliable, amazing daily driver car, right? So I'm going to, over the video, the rest of the duration of the video, I'm going to get you more familiar with these cars and more understanding kind of why they were forgotten. I'm going to cover why they were forgotten right now. The Honda and Toyota are amazingly successful. The Toyota has been the best-selling car for 24 years now. 24 years. That's older than I am. I'm only 19. 24 years. That is ridiculous. 24 years it's been the bestseller. So no wonder all these other cars are outshadowed. And the Honda has been a close second, right? So these are like the tie. And remember, this isn't for Japanese brands. This is all the brands, right? Of course, the F-150 is more popular, but non-truck in the USA, worldwide, it's the Corolla worldwide, and it's the Camry in the United States. People love their Camrys, and people love their Accords, right? And Honda and Toyota are just more popular. That's why they're forgotten. So let's look at the pamphlet, right? Before I found the joy of internet pamphlets and downloading sketchy things onto my computer, I would just show you several listings to kind of give you an idea of what they look like inside and outside, but now I actually have the pamphlet, which is very nice. They were kind of hard to track down, because remember, these are forgotten, which means they're not well documented. Right now I could snap my fingers and a Toyota pamphlet could fall directly, from the ceiling directly into them, right? These were harder to find. So let's look at the Gallant first. This is the pamphlet, right? Let's say you walked into a Mitsubishi dealership, if you could even find one, and you stepped in there and you said, "Give me a pamphlet," and this is what they would hand you for the Gallant. So you can see fog lights, nice vehicle. This is how they're advertising it, right? MyVic engine, very reliable, alloy wheels, heated, power, seats, great sedan. You can see that shape, very wedgy, very nice, very edgy. The interior, again, Mitsubishi kind of had the way of doing things. So each car company kind of has what used to, right? Nowadays it's all crossover and it's all whacked out of my mind. Anyway, you would have a bigger SUV and then a smaller sedan. And those two cars would always kind of play off of each other and work together. For Toyota, it's like, it was the 4Runner and Camry, and now it's the Highlander and Camry, right? For Honda, it's always been the Pilot and the Accord. Those have always kind of played off of each other, right? And then the Civic plays off of the CRV because it's smaller, right? And that's kind of like they go together. So this has aggressive SUV styling, like you can see here, very aggressive. Not because it's an aggressive SUV, but because this was paired with the Mitsubishi Endeavor, the Mitsubishi Endeavor SUV, and they have similar steering wheels, similar designs, which is why this is so overbuilt and ridiculous, because it's mainly just parts from that vehicle. You can also see, I love this, it looks like everything's perfectly cut out where you think that it would fold into the dash. It does not. It is a solid hunk of plastic. Just, back in these days, having power windows was a flex. So if you had a screen, a touch screen in your car, you had to advertise it. You had to make that the most crazy thing, it had to stick out, protrude from the dashboard, be center stage. Then I really don't blame this. It was hard to sell a car. It still is hard to sell a car. So we can see, again, may I remind you, this is the end of sedans, right? Toyota and Honda have always been famously successful, and nowadays their fame is kind of dying down because of crossovers and smaller, cheaper, more affordable cars. And like I said, as the years go on, smaller cars like the Camry get bigger and bigger and bigger. The Corolla is technically the Camry, and the Camry is the new Avalon, right? People just want bigger, better, bigger, better, bigger, better, and they don't really want to move. They want something familiar. So Toyota comes out with a bigger new sedan and calls it the Camry because they know people will more likely to purchase that car if it's called Camry, right? If it just has that name on it. And it's worked for 24 years, so I guess I shouldn't say anything about it. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. So ever since then, they've gotten a lot bigger. This is more the original crowd, right? And this was the original crowd that was kind of dying off, right? They had to do that. They had to adapt. They had to be bigger, stronger, faster, not just for, crash tests, but just to sell them, right? This was kind of before that, so you can see it's not really successful. The ES and the SE starting at $21,000 and $24,000. Remember when you could get a Toyota Camry equivalent for $24,000? Base MSRP. No, not base MSRP. Top of the line MSRP. I remember that. And then, of course, interior, exterior colors, I was 2012. I was 7. Interior colors, rave red, quicksilver, white pearl, and capellana black. And then there are more interior colors than there are regular covers. So you've got beige fabric, black fabric, medium gray, soft sport fabric, black soft sport fabric, and then air quotes, black, air quotes, leather. It's definitely not leather, it's pleather. And then on the Suzuki side, this is the Kizashi. Now, you have to remember, Suzuki was dying at this point. They were actually leaving. So they really needed to, market this thing as good as they can just to try to not leave the U.S. So this is why it's so, well edited and well done compared to Mitsubishi, which just kind of says, here's the nugget, and that's what it's called, They really had to be ooh, it blends in, but also it's distinct. It's coming out of this mysterious white wall, and then they have to do all this crap to try and sell it, right? Again, probably the hardest to read pamphlet and or PDF ever made. I also hate that. I hate that it highlights up and down, but goes from side to side. Very weird. Will it highlight this? Oh, no. I don't like that. This is so, really quickly, this is so cursed. Oh, it's so cursed. Of course, and then you can see the Kizashi, the Mazda 6, Mazda 6 is actually mentioned here. Remember, these were kind of in a class of its own. And the Kizashi was good, just not all that amazingly reliable. It also punch. Also, a lot of interesting technology, like the standard smart pass keyless push button ignition with remote entry means torque keys never have to leave your pocket. They were really, they were really advertising. They got the gradient going on, luxury. I think that's really interesting to be spoken for, just how things work for some car companies and don't. Like Mazda in 2014, they updated the Mazda 6 and it became a luxury vehicle. Suzuki tried to do that to save their own ass. It didn't work. They had to leave the U.S. So it's just interesting to see how different things work out for different car companies. The interior, they haven't shown a screen once. Just talking about a touch of glass. Even though it's showing like a plastic door handle, which is fine by me, I guess. And it's also advertising safety, 2014 ready. It wasn't even around in 2014. Suzuki wasn't around in 2014. What do you mean 2014 ready? It's also got the airbag count, 8 standard. They're really selling this to you. They need you to buy this car. They are going bankrupt. They need you to buy this car. They need you. Just don't even listen to me. Go out, buy this car. They are going bankrupt. That's the theme I get from this manual. Like, seriously. They're Kizashi 2010. Perfections. Specifications, but also perfections, which is great. And then, of course, you've got the S, SE, GTS, and SLS. SLS being top of the line, S being bottom of the line. And then, of course, you've got all the colors, like white water pearl, ice blue metallic, deep sea blue metallic, platinum silver metallic, azure gray metallic, black pearl metallic, and vivid red. You've also got, of course, the chrome wheels and ski board module, whatever, beige fabric, beige leather, black fabric, black leather. Is there much more else to say? So yeah, not bad at all. This also did have a CVT, and this was in the age where this is in the age where CVTs were kind of iffy, so I would watch out for that if you're buying one of these. And of course the Mazda 6. The Mazda 6 is really the only one that's still around today. Pretty neat. I mean, you can see aerodynamics. This was the best one, in my opinion. The Gallant was too, again, that SUV styling, not for me, especially in a smaller SUV. I mean, look at the car that I drive. I drive a Prius, which is essentially the most weird, soft car you can ever buy, essentially, in 2012, and I love it. So maybe the, gigantic, huge, annoyingly huge steering wheel and aggressive body styling isn't for me, just because I drive, the weirdest, softest car you could probably buy at that point. Again, nice, interesting car. The interior was great. Wood. Nice flowing wood, too. Black little control panel there. Little bit of a screen. Not touchscreen, but a screen. And then your Mazda steering wheel with your weird red. I don't know why they loved red so much. They'd put red and then, blue gauge clusters. Didn't make sense, but it also worked. And then, of course, a touchscreen navigation system. Ooh. Other than that, the rest of the car was pretty simple, pretty standard. You've, of course, also got ebony black, black cherry metallic, cosmic comet gray mica, sangria red mica, ingot silver, Kona blue metallic, and techno white pearl. You've also got 18-inch steel, alloy, and alloy. I think the steel were actually pretty nice, especially with the hubcaps. Anyway, not bad. And then, of course, you can see just the rest of the guff in the manual. So, yeah, not bad. Let's look at some listings, shall we? This is for the 2011 Gallant. This is the ES base model. You can see, not a bad car. You can see those, modern, going into the thousands, except it's 2011, lights, which is pretty interesting. And then you can just see the rest of the car. Nice, very well put together. Again, like I said, big, huge, gigantic, weird, boorish steering wheel. I don't know what it is with the steering wheel. I like my, oval-shaped Toyota steering wheel. I don't know. Maybe I just have soft hands, and that's why. The rest of the car, very nice. Love it. Great trunk space. The only issue is this is kind of short, because, remember, these cars are big, but they were smaller back in the day. This is probably equivalent to a Corolla of now times, which is why, the glass is right there, and they meet perfectly. You don't have, an inch of gap, where the Camry has now, right? And that's also why the opening is so small. It's annoyingly small, and the seats don't fold back at all, which is also really annoying. And another thing, I just didn't like the Gallant when it came out. I loved Mitsubishi. I really did. I loved the Mirage, especially in the 90s. Mwah. But this ain't it, Chief. All of this, I'm sure they only needed, this over here for, a trunk lever emergency pull switch or some crap like that, and then they duplicated it on the other side to be symmetrical. Don't do that. You're just wasting interior space and room. It's way too jagged. If I bought this car and I had to fit a TV box in there and this bit was just an inch to, forward to not let that happen, I would sell it instantly and get so angry with this stupid design. Also, again, stock wait a second. Are those hubcaps or steel wheels? I'm guessing they're steel wheels. They have to be steel wheels. So there's just a random hubcap on the back. Nope. No, they are hubcaps. Then what is this? Are they hubcaps with... Because that's a hubcap. That is a hubcap. Is that... It's got, like, things of a hubcap, but is there a steel wheel underneath it? It looks like a hubcap, but it's got, like, the clips on it, and it looks like a hubcap. I'm just going to say it's a hubcap. Yeah, great hubcaps on this vehicle. If it's not a hubcap, please let me know in the comments. My mind is blown. Anyway, yeah, not a bad car. If you can find one of these, like, again, in Oregon, you don't buy cars from, like, a dealership, whatever. You buy them from, like, old Uncle Tom's car dealership that he opened 13 million BC years ago that just, marks cars based on the make. That's it. They don't care whether it's if it's, like I said, if it's Toyota, it's 9 to 13. If it's a Ford, it's like 8 to 17. It's around there. You know what I mean. Yeah, again, you can see the Mazda 7 here. Mazda 7, the Mazda 5. Again, you can see the interior. Not bad at all. Pretty standard. Steering wheel, everything. Oh, remember, all these cars can be purchased for under $10,000, and they're all great daily drivers. The Mazda's really stylish, and it was one of the better ones here. And, of course, you've got the Kizashi. Now, the Kizashi is weird because it's almost impossible to find one, and if you do find one, there's always something wrong with it. Like, this one has been crashed, I believe, twice, as you can see here from this lovely, lovely paint here, and this lovely, lovely discrepancy, even from the other paint. So there's spray paint that doesn't match the paint, and then a bumper that also does not match the spray paint or the previously done paint. That's how you know this car's been taken care of real good. You've also got the Kizashi. I mean, it looks kind of cute, but not at all. Again, other than that, nice alloy wheels, not bad. Interior, standard. You've got your fuel economy. You've got your Jockford radio system, standard, like Casio calculator green. What else do you expect? Dual zone climate control, which is very nice for 2010. Other than that, it's a sedan. I mean, I really don't know what you want me to say. It's a sedan. So yeah, with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to... Good Lord. What do they do? Did they seriously drive... Like, not drive on the curbs. Did they drive next to the curbs for the entirety of this car's life? How do you even curb a wheel? Oh, my God. What are the... How? I never really got curbing. Ever. Maybe it's because I lived in Florida with big, wide, long roads. I don't think I've ever curbed my wheels. I don't think they have marks on them. I think I did it to my Prius once when I was a new driver pulling into somewhere and scratched the side because there wasn't a driveway there and I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, how do you even... I seriously, I don't get that. How do you curb your wheels so much? Like, was there just, like, a curb sliding past the wheels? Or, like, because I can't imagine... I think you would know, like... That, you would notice if there's a curb up against your wheel for an entire spin, unless you're going like 70 miles per hour on the freeway. Now, that's a different story, but I don't know. Anyway, with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon. Also, let me know what cars you want me to do videos on. I am desperate for ideas.